Hello, everyone. How are y'all doing tonight? I am Reed Hauser, and this is
Lila Gilbreth.
and we're two UVM students here. I am a sophomore in the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences, and Lila.
I'm a junior in the College of Education and Social Services.
Just to go ahead and give you a little bit of an overview right now, you can see what our majors are, what we're studying here. But just to get us started, the first part we're going to go over is talking about UVM, answering some general questions for you, stuff like that, and then we're going to actually have you try and send us some questions that we can answer, so we can cater this more towards you and answer some specific things you may be wondering about UVM. So, to go ahead and start us off, feel free to send us questions at any time throughout this, and at the end we will answer those. But just start us off, Lila, why did you choose UVM?
My story about how I chose UVM. I actually was encouraged to apply from my best friend's older brother who went here. And after visiting different, I'd been student visit days, going to events in my area. I had the opportunity to chat with different students who were at the university and even alumni. And it really, I could see myself here, and it was a place that I wanted to be, so that's why I chose UVM.
Okay, very good.
What about you, Reed? Why UVM?
Being from Georgia, UVM wasn't something that really was even on my radar because it was across the country. But I found out about the school because my grandfather was alumni, and he actually brought me on a tour of the school. And I remember coming here and thinking, I don't want to go to school in the north. I don't want to go to school in the cold. But I ended up absolutely falling in love with it. Just having the green mountains and the accessibility. I'm a very outdoorsy person, so I could go hiking, I could go skiing. Then there's Lake Champlain during the summers where you can go swimming, you can go out to the beach because, yeah, we do have a beach. It's pretty nice. And then downtown Burlington just kind of brought it all together because we have Church Street, which was recently voted the #1 college town in America. For that reason, Church Street's pretty awesome. It's a closed down street that's just shopping areas, restaurants, so many great things to do, always live music. Lila, you're actually going somewhere tonight. Do you want to give a little shout out to Radio Bean?
Yeah, I'm gonna head down to Radio Bean tonight, which is downtown. It's soul night, so I'm looking forward to that, hearing some good music. But really, you can't go wrong with different things downtown at UVM in Burlington. You're never gonna get bored here.
Yeah. So I was just gonna say that's the main reason I came is just how great of a town Burlington is and all the stuff that there is to offer on top of an amazing school. So I guess next is Lila. What was your first year at UVM like?
My first year at UVM was one of the best experiences I think of my whole life. I got to meet some amazing people and loved being out of Massachusetts, away from my family, but that's just me. Um, Actually, my first year here, when we moved in, it was Hurricane Irene, and so because of the wind and all the just like wind that was happening, there were like extreme winds happening. We were forced to stay inside our residence hall for the first weekend that we were all here, so we couldn't go out and explore and do stuff. So we were all stuck. But it really forced us all to bond and really get to know each other. I got very, very close with my hall, my floor, the whole building really. But it was fun. I mean, we just like did puzzles and like played board games, and it was a blast.
Okay. Sounds like a good time.
Despite the hurricane, we managed to have fun.
Yeah, at least you managed to stay inside out of the wind.
How was your first year, Reed?
My first year was really good. I lived in a smaller residence hall. There were only about 35 of us, so we all got to know each other very well, and we were a very close-knit family unit. We call ourselves the Sitchell Stoop Kids, actually, because that was our residence hall. Hey Arnold throwback, if anyone remembers that. But it was really nice. I always kind of had that family unit to support me throughout the entire time, so classes were a little difficult for me to adjust to at first, just the caliber of difference. But there's so many great resources that helped me out, whether it was a learning co-op where I got free tutoring or any of my TAs who always offered to stay extra hours and help me out. There were so many opportunities to get help. And then at the end of the day, if I was ever so stressed, I had that family unit back in my residence hall to go look forward to seeing, just having a movie night or cooking dinner or going out to get food together. There was just always a nice way to relax at the end of the day and kind of bring it all together. But we always had fun events, whether it was going to the beach as a giant group, going to movies on the weekends. We just always, I don't know, it was an amazing time. I made a lot of lifelong friends during my first year, and people who I'm looking forward to living with either next year or in the future for the rest of my time here at UVM. It was definitely an awesome experience. I wouldn't have traded it for the world.
I agree.
So next we'll go ahead and start and talk about our program.
Do you want to start and talk about your major and minor? You got a long list.
Okay, bear with me. I don't want to be annoying, but I have two majors and two minors here at UVM. I am a double major in microbiology and molecular genetics, program known as MMG here. And then I have two minors, which are pharmacology and business administration. So microbiology, I get to work with microorganisms all the time, little bacteria, and molecular genetics, I actually get to manipulate their genomes, induce new plasmids, make them like it's so cool what I get to do. I don't know. I just love it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, my favorite class right now is called clinical microbiology. I get pathogens from Fletcher Allen, which is the hospital on campus. We get different cultures from patients there, and we get to isolate the microbes out of those sick patients and determine what's actually causing those people to be sick. So I get that real world application behind one of the classes in my major, and I absolutely love it. And then my favorite class for molecular genetics is recombinant DNA technology. And right now we're working on transforming yeast cells so we can make them do different things that we want to. And at the end, we're going to bake sourdough bread. So pretty excited about it. It's going to be a lot of fun. But those are both through the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences, which is my home college. But both of my minors are actually outside of my college. So pharmacology, one of my minors, is actually run by the medical school here. So I get to take classes with a lot of the med school students and have all my classes taught by medical school professors, which is really cool to get as an undergrad, that higher level experience. And I do plan on going into med school one day. I'm on the pre-med track right now, and having those connections in the medical field and the medical school, I feel like will do a lot for me potentially. So I'm really excited about that. And then my other minor is business administration, which is through the School of Business Administration. So I'm sort of involved in three different colleges here at the university. So it is not as much as it sounds. And if you love it, it's definitely a very doable thing. And I'm still on track to graduate in 4 years. I'm actually an entire semester ahead of schedule right now, which is surprising. And I didn't come in with any AP credits. I just took some summer classes. So it's definitely easy to stay on track to graduate in 4 years, even studying no matter what you want to do, how much you want to do. So Lila, do you want to talk about your majors?
Great. So I'm studying secondary education and math. So I'm studying to be a high school math teacher. And that's through the College of Education and Social Services. And then I'm also studying just a mathematics major through the College of Arts and Sciences. So because they're in two different colleges, I'm technically a dual degree rather than a double major. It would be a double major if I was in two majors in the same college. But again, because they're in two different colleges, you have to make sure that you are keeping on track with each college's general education requirements. Some have different requirements from others, but it's been doable for me. I have a great advisor who keeps me on track. She's amazing. I can go and talk to her about anything. But I really like my major and my minor. I don't have as many things as Reed does, but still having fun.
What do you think your favorite class was in your major?
Ooh,
or majors?
Yeah, so through education, we took a technology class. So it was about technology and education, and we looked at different ways to implement technology to be effective. And it was really, I learned a lot from the class that I've actually got to have the opportunity to bring to different classes that I've been in observing. I hope to bring it to student teaching. I know I will. So that's been a lot of fun and really useful.
You start student teaching soon, don't you?
I student teach in the fall. So next fall I will be spending an entire semester just at one of the high schools in the area in Vermont. But right now I'm in a classroom. I get to teach some lessons, but it's a lot of observation, which is really nice. You get to see how teachers go about their day-to-day, how they structure lessons, how they organize the classroom. So it's been really great to have hands-on experience.
Is it easy to get involved as a student teacher, as a education student?
Yeah, everybody student teaches, so that's something that you're guaranteed to go through.
That's really awesome.
Thanks, Rudy. I think so.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and move on to some questions. How about that? So, do we want to start off with this one right here from a Miss Reynolds?
Great. So the question asks, how affordable is it for people out of state? And do you know any scholarships, possibly special talent scholarships? Um,
We're both out of state students, so I think we can both talk about that. It definitely can be something that is affordable for students, and there's a lot of opportunity for scholarships. I actually am on the presidential scholarship, which is one for academic achievement. So, as an out of state student, you have a very good chance of getting that. It's something that definitely does help out with your tuition. And if you were looking to go for varsity sports or something like that, that's other opportunities for talent-based scholarships. I'm not sure if that's exactly what you mean, but there is definitely a lot of different ways to get scholarships. And once you actually get here, I get emails all the time through my college for different opportunities for scholarships through different programs based off of academic merit, mostly.
yeah, I mean, it's pretty much an individual to individual basis. I think we aren't connected with Student Financial Services, so we can't give you all the details. But I have a lot of financial aid. I had work study for the first 2 years I was here, which was a great opportunity. I actually worked in the lobby of the building I was living in, so it was great. I just wake up, roll out of bed, no shoes on, go downstairs to work. It was great, and that definitely helped. So there are plenty of opportunities for jobs around campus and off campus if need be.
Yeah, I don't get work study, unfortunately, but there definitely are a lot of opportunities for non work study jobs because Burlington is a pretty big city. There's about 40,000 people in it. So, downtown at all the restaurants, at pretty much anywhere, any of the shops, just up the road, there's a giant mall. So, there's a lot of opportunities to get jobs. I know people who work on campus actually, whether it be in the library, in the bookstore, they can do all those for non-work study positions as well. So if you don't get work study, don't worry that you won't be able to get a job because I have a few jobs on campus and none of them are work study for me. So those definitely help me to kind of pay for school as well and manage that myself.
Great. So our next question is psychology a popular major? Yes. I believe it's one of our largest majors.
Yeah, I want to say it's in the top three largest majors. So behind English, it's one of the top majors for sure. English is our largest major, but psychology definitely is our largest major on campus, and that's the College of Arts and Sciences, which is also our largest college on campus. So that college houses about half of the students here at UVM. If you're interested in anything like neuroscience as well, you have a lot of overlap with psychology from my friends who are involved in those programs. So I'm actually taking my first psychology class over the summer, Psych 001, and I'm really excited about it because it's something that's on the MCAT, so I'm doing that to kind of prepare for it.
Actually, all education majors as well, I believe, have to take a psychology 001. So it's very popular. It's a popular class. You'll be amongst friends.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in those classes for sure, especially the intro ones, which are a little bit larger. It's a great opportunity to get to meet new people, which is really nice.
Yeah. So our next question, does UVM offer pre-dentistry studies?
I actually am on a pre-dental track as well because pre-med and pre-dental are pretty much exactly the same, fortunately enough. And my sister is in dental school right now, so I'm kind of figuring out where I want to go on in life. But it's they don't necessarily offer studies, but they offer program and advising for those. So I have a pre-medical advisor who also is the pre-dental advisor, and she's absolutely great about setting up events throughout the year to bring in doctors and dentists to come talk to students, as well as planning things where medical school patients or dental school patients will come and talk to students about their experience, the application process, what they really thought helped them in the interview process, all of that. And I just know that I definitely have the academic coursework available for me to be very competitive in those situations. And I feel like I'm also getting the real world experience from those advising sessions and all the different opportunities that she houses.
Okay. Next question. When is the application deadline for UVM? Any how many students meet the full financial aid need? How many meet partial financial aid need? Um, the application deadline.
That is a very specific question. I actually do not know the answer to that.
That would be a really good question for one of our admissions counselors. They will be monitoring our Twitter account actually, so if you want to shoot them a tweet, they can answer those questions specifically. And then regarding financial aid, like I said before, admissions is not connected to financial aid, so we don't have the training to have those numbers. But
if you're looking to get in contact with one of the admissions counselors on UVM, again, feel free to use that hashtag UVM chat through Twitter, and that'll definitely link you directly to them. And I think we actually do have those numbers, so.
Okay, so for application deadlines, the early action is November 1st, and regulated action is January 15th. And again, we're going to direct you to financial aid services, student financial services, rather than us to answer financial questions. Okay. So that's all the questions we have now. Keep them coming if anybody has any more. Oh, great. How is the art?
Do you mean an art major, art studies, or like downtown art scene? Because there's definitely a lot of different possibilities to go with that question. So do you want to clarify real quick? Just so we don't draw a tangent on the wrong thing? Or we can anyway.
Yeah, I mean, there's art. You'll honestly find art. Oh, okay. So we have a more specific question. So the minor, the art program in general. I have a couple friends that are in the art program. They actually transferred in, so that's the experience they've had. But they've loved it. They've had a really great opportunity. They like the program. They've been able to showcase things around Burlington as well, which has been awesome. Me and my friends have gone to a place downtown and gone to see our friend's work, which was amazing. And we were very proud of her. We also have an art education program, so if you're interested in becoming an art teacher, that's through, again, the College of Education Social Services. And I have a friend in that who loves it, and she gets to take a bunch of art classes and gets to go into the school and teach art and hang out with little kids and do art, and she loves it.
I have quite a few friends that are involved in the different art programs here as well, and they all have told me how great of experiences they have, whether it's studio art or history, which are two of the more popular programs in art to pursue. They've all absolutely loved the experience. And I actually, in the fall, we have something in Burlington called the Art Hop, which is a really amazing kind of street fair almost type thing. They close down this entire street for about a mile, and every single shop is just turned into an art exhibit, and all the local artists kind of crawl out of the woodwork and showcase their pieces. And it's so much fun to go do that. There are food trucks the entire way down, Ben and Jerry's giving out free ice cream, and just so many varying types of art, whether it's street art, graffiti, to fine paintings, sculptures, glasswork. There's always stuff happening, and it's absolutely phenomenal. It lasts for an entire weekend, and that's something I always look forward to going to in the fall. So I'm not too much of an art involved person, but I have an appreciation for it. And if you are an artsy person, it definitely is something that kind of can be a very, very awesome experience to get involved in.
Yeah, also in one of our buildings on campus called the Living and Learning Center, there's a lot of different studios for art. So I know they have a dark room if you're interested in photography. They also have a ceramics co-op. So I have friends that join this, and they would go like once or twice a week and go and like throw different things on doing like ceramic stuff. They bring home like a whole set of bowls, and I have a friend that like made me a cute little mug. So definitely easy to get involved if that's something that you seek out.
We also have Fleming Museum on campus, which is a really cool thing to go look at, because I think at any time they have around 25,000 pieces on display. And something nice about being the midway point between Boston and Montreal is we have a lot of big names come through. So I've seen Tibetan monks there, I've seen Picasso and Warhol. They definitely have a lot of big names come through that, and it's all free as a student, so it's pretty cool to go check that out. And going back to jobs, even, I have a few friends who work there as security guards for work study. So it's kind of funny you see like all my wimpy little friends as security guards guarding these beautiful paintings, but you just get paid to go look at art, which is a pretty cool job if you ask me. So
Yeah, so that's right on campus, the Fleming Museum. And it's actually the largest collection of fine art in Vermont, I believe.
And the UVM also does a great job of displaying student art on campus, which is really nice. Whether it's in the Davis Center, you can see a few different pieces. There's our giant glassbone sculpture. And the circle, there's a giant sculpture that was done by a student for their honors thesis for their senior year. Then on Central Campus, we have some statues that to me look like Dementors from Harry Potter. I don't know exactly what they're called, but that's always what I refer to them as. There's student art all over campus because the university does do a very good job of showcasing their student work.
So we have some more questions. So the first question, what about anthropology? So I know a little bit about it. Do you know much about it?
I took a class in anthropology. I took a class in cultural anthropology, and anthropology and art are actually housed out of the same building on campus. It's out of Williams Hall. It's an absolutely beautiful building on our central old campus. Beautiful red stone architecture done by H. Richardson, in case anyone cares. But my favorite part about the building is around sunset time. If you're up on the fourth or fifth floor in one of the classrooms, there's an absolutely breathtaking view of the sun setting over Lake Champlain and the Adirondacks that you can't beat. It's absolutely priceless to see that at night. And my anthropology class, my first year, was that high. So fortunately, every time it came to be sunset, I would just kind of drift off and look out to the sunset. But it was such an amazing class just for that experience. But besides that, I absolutely loved our anthropology department here. I took cultural anthropology, learned about a bunch of different tribes from different areas all around the world, different cultures as well, not just more indigenous people. But it was definitely a very, very interesting experience, and I feel like I learned quite a bit from it.
Great. The next question is about study abroad. So neither of us are studying abroad. Are you studying abroad?
I might be. Like I said, I was a semester ahead, so I'm thinking about doing it in the summer, but it's kind of not worked out. You know a bit about studying abroad, though. Do you just want to talk about the programs?
Yeah, so the way it works, you meet with the Office of International Education, which is just on our athletic campus. And I believe about 40% of our undergraduates study abroad, which is a lot compared to the 14% national average. But study abroad, you go through the process. They're very, very good at keeping you up to date with different checkpoints. So like you have to do this before this by this date, and they make sure you know when you have to do everything in order to be able to like meet the timeline requirements in order to study abroad. We offer different programs. You can do it through the university, through another university. You can do a transfer, so you can do a transfer program. So if you go to one country, a student from that country will actually come to UVM. But there's a whole variety of opportunities. We go to pretty much any country you could want to go to. You will find a program for you to go to. UVM has programs that go through. We have a program that goes to England, and we have a program that goes to Mexico, and those are faculty-led. So you're with UVM faculty in these countries, and most likely you'll be with the majority of your program will be UVM students.
There's also another type of program I didn't talk about, which is the short-term exchange. So that's usually only about 2 weeks or 3 weeks at a time, and you get credit for one class. So this past winter break, I was thinking about going to Ecuador for a primary and alpaca education credit. But then I realized that I'm not an animal science major, and that didn't have anything to do with what I wanted in life, but it just would have been really fun.
To play with alpacas.
Yeah, to go play with alpacas in Ecuador. I mean, that's pretty cool. And those programs are only about 2 to 3 weeks, and you get 3 to 4 credits for about one class instead of going away for an entire semester. So that's the other type. But if you don't necessarily find a program directly through UVM, there are the external programs. So that can be through any type of different setting, I guess, different outside company. Those you do want to talk with an admission or counselor through the Office of International Education to make sure that your credits will transfer through that, though. Since it isn't technically a UVM program, it can get a little more iffy in that end.
Yeah, and they do, again, they do a very good job at making sure that you have everything you need in order to study abroad. So they make sure that you do talk to your advisor and that you do talk to a counselor at the Office of International Education. And these are like checkpoints that you have to hit before you can like do the next step in the process. So they're very, very good at that.
And then the last question we have right now is, what about the weather?
Okay, so the weather is always a hot topic here. We are in Vermont, we're very northern. People, I think, have a misconception though about how much snow we get, and we're not like buried. If you're like, I'm from Massachusetts, so it's not really that much of a difference snow wise. The difference in the weather is going to be in the temperature. It is kind of colder, and a lot of that comes off the wind, which we get off the lake. So as long as you have like a big old coat and a scarf, you're good to go.
Being from Georgia, I hadn't ever seen snow before my first year here, so it was a little bit bigger of a change for me. Because back in my hometown, it was cold and people were bundling up when it was 50 degrees. Whereas here, I think last year it dropped down to about negative 20 or so for a day. And I mean, there are buses running all the time. Most of the classes you can stay inside to get to, or you have very short walks in between them. So there's also an underground tunnel, which makes getting to classes a little bit easier to stay inside while you're doing that. But it definitely, the winter isn't that bad. You're really outside for such a short period of time that it isn't a problem at all.
Yeah, I think people generally love the winter up here, so they are very excited like during the fall for winter to come. They love it when winter's actually here. But once spring kind of comes, I'd say we're pretty sick of the cold.
Pretty ready for it. But something nice about the weather, though, is with that cold weather, you do get snow in the mountains. And if you're a skier or a snowboarder, we have so many amazing mountains around the area. I am going to Sugarbush this weekend, actually, and so excited about it. Just learned how to ski last year, getting better, but they definitely have some really nice ski mountains around if you're into that. If you're not, though, there are a lot of other things to do during the winter.
Yeah, I'm not a skier, snowboarder. That was actually something that I was worried about coming to UVM. I thought everyone was going to be gone on the weekends, everyone was going to ski, and that I would be an outsider. But I really wasn't, and it's not really an issue. So we do have another question. Do we have a pharmacy program, Reed?
Why, yes, we do. That's actually one of my minors is pharmacy. Pharmacy is not a major here, though. It is a minor, and you can pursue it in the graduate school as well, I believe. But pharmacy is a minor. It's run through the medical school here, and you get to take those classes with some med school students, which is kind of cool. You get to work under med school professors, which is really cool, and you do get an advisor for that process as well. So I have an advisor for every single one of my studies. I have one for sorry, I have one for microbiology, one for molecular genetics, one for business, and one for pharmacology. So I definitely feel like I'm being very well prepared for that. And my organic chem is also helping me with that a lot because we do learn about a lot of different drugs in organic chem here, or the basic subunits of those. So when you get to those pharm classes, the toxicology classes, they all make a little bit more sense, which is really cool. And yeah, it's just kind of good. If you're interested in going to a pharmacy school, you can go with your pharmacy minor and be on a pre-pharm track. I don't know exactly how that works because that's not the route I'm going, but you can plan your coursework around that if you meet with an advisor. So,
yeah. So those are the questions that we have. Oh, wow. Yeah, okay. Just kidding. So we don't have any questions right now. If you guys want to ask us anything, please just like send it through this little event, or you can tweet at UVM admissions using the hashtag UVM chat. Um,
Yeah, definitely feel free to ask us more questions because we're here to help you guys. We're allotted off for a little bit, so definitely send us all your questions that you may have about any type of program, any type of outdoor activity or club, any type of organization on campus. Oh, we just got one more, so.
So, Reed, tell us a little bit about your most memorable event you've had at UVM.
My most memorable event.
Take a minute, think about it.
Right off the top of my head, I'm going to say Springfest last year. For any of you who don't know what Springfest is, it's our annual spring concert. They actually just announced the bands for this year. Our headliner this year is Atmosphere, but last year we had MGMT headline it with a few different groups and actually a student group from UVM who are two DJs here, and I actually know them, so it was kind of cool to see them play. But I remember having so much fun because it was just an all-day concert. It was like 8 hours of music, and it was just so amazing because it was right on Central Campus. So when I was hungry, I could just leave and come back and do whatever I wanted and just kind of go freely throughout the day. Or if I wanted to, just chill out on the green and kind of soak in all the music and scenery because we do have a pretty beautiful campus, and it was springtime, so all of the trees were just starting to bud and all the flowers coming out. So it was just, I remember it being such an amazing time and having so much fun because I went with this big group of my friends to this concert and just kind of vegged out and just having so much fun because spring was finally here and soaking up the sun and getting a tan because if you can't tell, I've lost all my color in the Vermont winter.
I don't have color.
Yeah. So then, Lila, what about you? What do you think was your most memorable event at UVM?
Well, recently we had Laverne Cox come and speak at UVM. She is on Orange is the New Black, for people who don't know. She came and gave a speech, and it was wonderful. And it was a huge crowd. She drew a large crowd of people. But we have events like that all the time. The first week, we always have a comedy show for Labor Day, which is run by one of our programs on campus. And this year we had John Mulaney come, who was hysterical. Seth Meyers came last year. He was also amazing. He was on Saturday Night Live. Now he has his own late night show, I believe. So we have a lot of really great people come to the university.
Yeah, there's always so much stuff happening. You'll never be bored here. There's actually something called UVM Board, which makes a calendar of all the events happening on UVM as well as in the Burlington area. So that way you always know what's going on. And the objective is if you ever are bored, go check out UVM Board and you won't be bored for long.
Exactly.
But they're always also giving away freebies and prizes throughout the year. That's actually how I got my Sugar Bush tickets that I was talking about earlier. I won them through a contest on UVM Board. So I think we have another question about orientation.
Yeah. So Reed and I were actually both orientation leaders this past summer, and I'm going to be an orientation leader this summer. So maybe I'll see some friendly faces if you guys are accepted students. But the way it works, we have different sessions throughout the month of June, and you come and you stay for either 3 days and 2 nights, or 2 days and 1 night. And we do a lot of really cool stuff. You get to meet people that are going to be in your program. You get to talk to students like me and Reed, who are your orientation leaders. You really just get acclimated to UVM, feel your way around campus. You sign up for classes too, so it's pretty important.
Yeah, I think that was what a lot of the people who I helped last year seemed most excited about, and it's what I was most excited about during my orientation, was you actually get to bring home a sheet with a hard copy of your classes, so you feel like a real student, and it's so cool to be taking all these cool classes and getting to show them off to all your friends. So I just remember being so excited after my orientation because an advisor actually sat down with me and helped me pick out my classes. And just at that level, to have someone show that interest made me feel like I was going to be really at home here. And really, I've had an advisor help me with everything that I've ever needed from that point on. So I thought it was a very good kind of conditioning to what UVM was going to be like. And I just remember it being so much fun, especially the block party.
The block party. So we have a party specially planned for students, which happens in our student center. So it's We take over the whole student center, and it's a lot of fun. There's always like snacks and ice cream and like dancing and a photo booth and slushies and like
A
different games,
casino.
a casino, like different video games. So yeah, we have a lot of really fun events planned for students so that you guys won't be bored. Oh, we have like a person who comes and they do henna tattoos on people's hands, which is always a big hit. Lots of really fun stuff, and you also get to stay on campus, so you're staying in one of our residence halls. So that's a lot of fun.
So you get to kind of experience what a residence hall is going to be like before you come, just to know what to expect. And that actually is a perfect transition into our next question. It says, could you talk a little bit about resident life or the first year residence halls?
Great. So we don't have any specific freshman dorms, if you will. So first year students, you'll be living with a lot like other sophomores, maybe a junior and senior here and there, but you're never going to be in a totally all first year student residence hall. Um,
Yeah, I actually still live in a residence hall because I'm only a sophomore. At UVM, you're required to live on campus for your first 2 years, and you're guaranteed housing all 4 years if you want to stay on campus. But after your sophomore year, about 70% of students do choose to move off. I'm actually going to be moving off campus next year, but right now I do live on campus, and I'm actually living in the residence halls that you would stay in overnight for your orientation program, which is kind of cool. You get to experience where I'd be living. But on my left is a junior and a sophomore. My roommate and myself are both sophomores, and then my neighbors on my right are three first year students. So there is no designated first year housing, which I think is a really good thing actually, because some of the students on my right are taking some of the classes I've already took or are registering for classes I've already took. So I can kind of give them some pointers, tell them what professors I did like, which professors I didn't like, which classes I really enjoyed, and which ones I didn't like so much, and kind of give them my little pointers on how to get through classes, how to study for exams, stuff like that. Just kind of help integrate them into the university, and maybe introduce them to some of my friends or something like that.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Like it would be a bummer if you were segregated by grades totally. So it's nice to see other people. But other stuff about res life, I guess the way it works, every floor, every hall has what we call a resident advisor or RA, and your RAs are really there to build community within your hall, which is strongly emphasized. They plan a lot of events to get you everyone comfortable with each other since you're going to be living with these people. They can facilitate roommate like disagreements. These are very important for especially your first year. I know my floor, my first year, we all became so close. I still hang out with these people, and I love them. They're like my family. So, and I owe that to my RA.
Feel free to keep sending us questions, and we'll continue to talk about residence life a little bit more. Just something I know that really was nice for me is having laundry actually in the facility. So rather than having to go somewhere to get your laundry done, you can actually walk downstairs, and every type of residence hall has their own laundry facility, and that all works off of your student ID, so you don't have to worry about that. But it definitely was really nice because I don't know. I was worried about doing laundry because I worry about very irrational things that most people don't think about. And I found out there were laundry machines in every building, and that put me at ease. So,
Laundry is not an issue. It's super
yeah.
easy. The way it works, you have $1 automatically put onto your student ID, which we call our CAT card. And each swipe, so every load of laundry is 1 cent. So you essentially have 100 free loads of laundry already on your card.
Yeah.
You're never going to go through that, and if you do, you're doing something wrong. You'd
Yeah.
have to do it a few times, laundry a few times a week to like go through that much. And if you do happen to run out, you just put another dollar on your CAT card, and then you're all set to go with 100 more loads of laundry.
Yeah, I actually end up with so much laundry that I let some of my off-campus friends come and use my laundry swipes, which I don't know if I'm supposed to say, but I mean, I'm not going to use all 100 loads. I might use 20, so is that bad?
I don't know. Okay, so our next question is, what is the food like? I'll start.
Yeah, I still am on a meal plan, so I have the residence hall, dining hall food every single day. There are 12 points locations across campus, 12 or 13 points locations, and three unlimited dining facilities. I am on the points plan, so I typically eat points food a little bit more just because I live a little more of an on the go lifestyle, so it makes things a little more convenient for me. but it's so good. They have great chefs at pretty much every dining facility, and those chefs are catering to any type of dietary restriction you may need. So whether it's gluten-free, peanut-free, vegan, vegetarian, lactose intolerant, they're more than happy to prepare your meal in a separate facility where there won't be cross-contamination or anything. And they're absolutely phenomenal about meeting any type of dietary restriction. I actually went vegetarian at the beginning of this year for about 3 months just because there were vegetarian options at every single meal. And it just is so easy to really follow any type of health plan you want or any type of food plan you want for your diet. And I really enjoy the food. My favorite thing is Falafel Thursdays with Charlie in the Davis Center.
Yeah, I can agree.
Yeah, he's a really funny guy and he makes some really good food. So it's kind of like the double whammy. But his falafels are absolutely to die for, and it's what I look forward to on my very long Thursdays. So, Lila, you used to be on campus, so what do you think?
Yeah, so I'm not on campus anymore, so I don't have a meal plan, but I mean, I still try to harass these guys into buying me food on campus. One of my favorite wraps, actually, they had it the other day, and I convinced one of my friends to buy me it. It has like couscous and feta and this like lime cilantro dressing, and I love it. So
Is it
I
the
like the
Israeli?
food. It's the Israel. It's called
Oh
the Israeli
God,
wrap, and it's
so good.
we also have a Ben and Jerry's, which you can get on our meal plan, which is just in our student center. And we also have New World Tortilla. So New World Tortilla is actually a restaurant downtown in Burlington, and we have a portion of it in our student center as well. So that you can buy on your meal plan. So very good food, lots and lots of fun.
I actually got some New World today for lunch. I had a chicken and black bean flat wrap or quesadilla, and I can tell you from personal experience, they're solid.
Side of guacamole?
Yeah, you should definitely get one. It's actually a company owned by two UVM grads, and they just opened up that one in the Davis Center, so that's kind of cool. Keeping it in the UVM family, which is kind of fun. And,
Okay.
yeah.
So we have a question now about extracurricular theater.
Okay.
So we actually have a couple friends that are in the theater program, so they're like majors, minors, but you don't have to be a major or minor to get involved with the theater. In fact, we encourage you to get involved because our theater department is very small. So they always need help, like putting on shows, acting in shows, designing sets, costumes, doing the lighting, really every aspect. If you're interested in it, it's super easy to get involved.
I'm actually ushering a show tomorrow night. So if you usher a show, you get free admission to the shows, which is pretty cool. I'm going to see You're in Town after I usher it because every few years we have a musical, and this is one of those years where we're having a musical, and I'm really excited because a lot of my friends are in it, so I get to go see them perform, which is always fun, and actually a lot of our overlapping friends. So it's just, I love our theater program. It's a really strong program, and my friends who are in it talk about how much they love it too. And you don't have to be a theater major or minor to get involved in it. You could be any type of background or discipline and go out for them as any type of role or costume design, set design. And most of that work is all student done as well. So if you want to go into acting, that's an absolutely awesome thing. I have a lot of friends who are acting minors and majors, but that's not the only way you can get involved for sure.
Yeah, I'm always so impressed by the shows they put on. I mean, I did theater in high school, but it's nothing like that. Like they're incredible and very talented, and any addition to that will be very welcomed.
Okay, so we got another question that says, can I bring my car?
Great. So first year students actually are not allowed to bring cars on campus simply because we don't have enough parking spaces. If we had more parking, more discussed like gross parking lots on campus, maybe you could bring a car, but we just simply don't have the space for it. So that's where we had to make the cut, unfortunately. Um,
There are a lot of alternatives for sure, though. We have an absolutely phenomenal city bus, the CCTA or the Chittenden County Transit Authority, and that's free with your student ID, and it stops on multiple places across campus. So you can just swipe onto the bus with your student ID. It'll take you to go to a shopping mall if you need to go. It'll take you downtown to Church Street, to the waterfront, really anywhere you need to go, to the airport, the Essex Junction train station. If you need to travel a little bit further, there are those options. I can take you all the way out to Montpelier for free. So it definitely is a great alternative. Do you want to talk about other transportation?
Yeah, we also have a couple buses that stop on campus. We have the mega bus, which I would usually take to go home. So if I wanted to go to Boston, there's a bus that goes straight from on campus to Boston. I believe they go to New York. I know they go to Amherst, Massachusetts.
Saratoga Springs.
Saratoga Springs. There's a lot of stops. We also have a Greyhound, which again stops right on campus and can take you to a bunch of different places. Amtrak is about 20 minutes away.
I actually rode the megabus to Boston for $1 the other weekend.
Oh, wow.
So you definitely can get some good deals. You just got to get the first ticket. That's all I got to say. But it's pretty easy to get around with that. And Burlington International Airport does fly to Canada. It's international. But it also flies to Boston. It flies to Atlanta now, which is good for me.
I think Philadelphia, too.
Yeah, it flies to a lot of other big cities or can connect you through other cities. So I actually had a friend go down to Fort Lauderdale yesterday, or this morning, who I dropped off at the airport. So there's definitely a lot of ways to get around. And then there's also Car Share Vermont.
Mm-hmm. I don't know a lot about it, but I believe students are able to use Car Share Vermont. You sign up online,
Yeah.
and we have a car share program. So there's different cars around Burlington. There's one actually on campus,
I
and
think there's 3 on campus
on
now.
campus?
There's one on Central, one on Redstone, one on Trinity, I want to say.
yeah. So I think you can like sign up to rent it for the car for like buy it the hour. Do you know much about it?
Something nice is normally you have to pay to be a member of this program, but UVM actually pays for all the students to be members, so you kind of just have to pay for the gas that you used, and you don't have to pay that annual membership fee, which is really nice. Additionally, if you are interested in skiing or snowboarding and you're looking to go to the mountains, they run shuttles through the Ski and Snowboard Club. So there are shuttles running to the mountain all weekend, as well as some of them do run during the days to specific or weekdays to specific mountains. So it definitely is very easy to go get to the mountains, and you'll make friends with upperclassmen as well, sophomores, juniors, seniors who have cars in the area or on campus. So if you ever do need to go anywhere very quickly, you can just kind of try and bum a ride off them, or just post on Facebook that you're looking for a ride to the mountain, and I'm sure someone will be more than happy to take you there. There's also the car share program on Facebook where you can say, hey, I need a ride to this place. I'll bring gas, snacks, and good times. And people will be like, yeah, hop in. I'll take you to Boston or wherever you need to go.
Yeah, so the next question we have is about music, and specifically, do you need to be a music major to play in band or orchestra?
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah.
The answer is no. You don't have to be a music major. You can take different classes for credits. So if you want to learn how to play piano, or if you just want to fine tune your piano skills, you can take classes for credit. You don't have to be a major or minor to be in the bands or orchestras. But if you play an instrument already and you have some skill or something that you want to improve or learn about, we have pep band, we have an orchestra, we have a jazz band, lots of different music groups around campus. So if that's something you're interested, don't be shy, don't hesitate. If that's what you want to do, it's available here, and people love it.
Yeah, one of our good friends actually is in the orchestra on campus. Patrick, he plays cello, and they always get kind of rented out for private events. So I see pictures of him playing at weddings all the time, which is kind of cool. So there's definitely a lot of opportunities to get involved in different ways. So it's not necessarily just playing in one setting. You can play in a lot of different positions. There are also 24-hour practice rooms in Southwick Hall, which is our music hall on Redstone campus. So you can go check those out and practice anytime you want, which is really kind of cool because who knows, maybe you get the urge to go play trombone at 3 a.m. on a Sunday. Your prerogative, you can go do that.
I believe our orchestra, or at least one of our music groups on campus, plays with community members as well. So you'll be playing with people from Burlington, which is a lot of fun and like a really good experience.
Mm-hmm.
But our next question is, what is the best piece of advice that you would give to a student looking at college? Well, when I was looking at different colleges, I tended to look at the people. And I'm a very people-oriented person, so I wanted to make sure that these were people that I could see myself becoming friends with and that I could spend time with since I was going to be here for 4 years. As beautiful as Church Street is and as the mountains are, and as much fun as my program has been, I think my experience here has really been made for me by the people. And if I hadn't made such close friends, I don't think I would have stayed here. But I love the people here. They've been nothing but supportive and nice. Vermonters are some of the nicest people I've ever met in the whole world. So I really looked at people when I was looking at colleges. So if you think you can get along with us, then you're probably set. What's your advice, Reed?
Mine kind of agrees and slightly contradicts. I know that's kind of weird, but mine would be do what makes you happy. I knew from the moment I stepped onto UVM campus that it was somewhere that I would be happy, and it's somewhere that I would meet people that would make me happy. You may have urges to go somewhere else or somewhere in general just because you think it'll look good, but you won't be happy there. But at the end of the day, you're going to be the one living in that situation. So definitely do what you think is going to make you most happy because it makes going to school, which can be a little bit stressful, a little irksome sometimes, it makes it so much better and so much more rewarding knowing that you're happy there.
Yeah. So it looks like we have about 10 minutes left, so we can probably squeeze in a couple more, one or two more questions if anybody has any. Otherwise, I'm going to start asking Reed personal questions.
That'll be awkward. Please don't let her do that.
I'm going to start. So, Reed, tell us about a memorable event from your first year. You said you lived in a very small, close-knit community. Mm-hmm. Did you guys ever do any like fun activities?
Oh God. Okay. I just had a flashback. 1 sec. Sorry. One night around Halloween time, we were watching a scary movie because that's what you do at that time, and we were watching The Conjuring or something like that in one of the common rooms because we had a nice big TV in there and beautiful sound, and it was pitch black, and I just remember slightly hearing stomping out of nowhere, and then all of a sudden the door behind us flung open and someone screamed so loud, and I just remember being absolutely petrified and I almost wet my pants. I was so scared. But everyone jumped and basically had a heart attack, and it was definitely one thing I will never forget from my first year. It turned out just being one of my friends being a jerk. But I just remember all the people I was with, like, jumping over the couch in fear, because it was a really suspenseful moment, and it timed perfectly with them busting in. So yeah, it was probably my most memorable, or one of my most memorable events. What about you, Lila? What do you think your most memorable first year experience was?
Okay, so one of the first weekends that we were here, it was still very warm out, and we decided that it was a group of my friends that we were going to go cliff jumping. So there are spots around Lake Champlain where there's a nice cliff and you can go jump and into the water, and most of us were petrified, but of course you had like the brave guys who wanted to show off, so they were like doing backflips off the rocks and like love showing off. So I decided I was gonna jump. So I built up the courage and I was like, I'm gonna just do it, just take the leap, just go. Like I don't wanna like say I didn't do it, like I'm doing it. So I jumped off the rocks, and it was fun. It was so great. But then I didn't realize how hard climbing back up would be. So I, like, after a struggle, managed to climb back up the rocks, got to the top, and then I got up, and one of my friends was like, Lila, are you bleeding? And I realized that the bottom of my foot had gotten cut up, and so we had to like tie it up with somebody's shirt, and my friend played nurse and took care of me. So I won't forget that. And despite it, I still had a lot of fun. And there's just, I don't know, I think that just goes to show like the fun experiences you'll have here and like the little adventures that make everything worthwhile and bond you with people.
Just a reminder in these last few minutes, feel free to shoot us some more questions. That way we have something to answer. And again, feel free to tweet at any of our admissions counselors using the hashtag UVMchat. If you want to know some more specific answers, then we can give you But definitely feel free to ask us anything at all. Okay, we actually just got one.
One more question. So, what is experiential learning? I heard UVM has that in their classes. So experiential learning is a lot of more hands-on learning, I would say.
For sure.
And it's about getting experience in what you plan to do and major in. And so, for example, for me, my experiential learning is I would go downtown or to Winooski, our neighbor town, and go tutor students in high school. So that was me getting experience to be a teacher through the classroom, and this was a part of my class. So in this class I had like, it was a requirement, but it was still like a lot of fun and I loved it. And student teaching is experiential learning, so I'll get that opportunity.
I think two of my favorite experiential learning opportunities on campus are for our animal science students, and that would be CREAM and EQUIS. So CREAM is a program for students going into the dairy management field or any type of animal science field, really, where they actually get assigned a cow for an entire semester. So they'll wake up at 3 a.m. and go milk that cow, take care of the cow, walk it, I think. I don't really know. I'm not a part of it. But
People love this program.
people get crazy about it, and Cream always brings baby calves on campus, so they're adorable. So on your way in between classes, you can go play with a baby calf all the time, which is my favorite part. And then Equus is similar, but with a horse. The only difference is that you don't really milk horses. So, but you have barn duties. You take care of the horse. You ride the horse. If you want to go into any kind of equine health as a pre-vet student or anything, it's great opportunities for that. But for me, what applies more is a lot of my labs. Again, I get that hands-on experience in the lab where we get cultures from Fletcher Allen from sick patients, where we actually get to separate out the microbes and isolate them to determine what the pathogen causing someone's sickness is based off of their initial report reported by a doctor. So we get to see their symptoms and all work our way down through different biochemical tests to isolate a pathogen and tell them exactly what it is, exactly how it's causing it, and how to treat it. And as someone who wants to go in the medical field, that's absolutely invaluable experience to have that under my belt. And I think UVM also does a great job of setting students up with internships, which is another great way to have experiential learning. So this summer, I'll be working with a biofuel production company. So they work on coupling the breakdown of wastewater from bacteria to the production of biofuel with algae. And I'm also working in a research lab right now that works on the spread of HIV-1 transmission. So there's so many opportunities for experiential learning. It can be almost overwhelming, but that's just something nice about being a university of our size, is you have all these opportunities and it's very easy to get involved in them.
Yeah, kind of going off of that, right now I'm doing research with my advisor. So this is someone that I've had classes with. She tells me what classes I need to take, make sure I'm on the right track. I can go and talk to her when I've had like mini breakdowns and like issues going on in my personal life. I can go and talk to her about that. But I'm doing research with her, which is also like a great experiential learning opportunity. I get to go into the classroom and we're trying to figure out different games and how they work with students learning math. So it's been a lot of fun. But really, no matter what your program is, no matter what your major, you're gonna find experiential learning opportunities, which is something that I think is very unique and amazing that our university offers.
If anyone sends a question in the next 10 seconds or so, we may be able to answer it. Otherwise, again, feel free to continue the conversation with the admissions counselors here at UVM. Feel free to email us at admissions@uvm.edu or tweet us at uvmadmissions.edu.
Or follow us on facebook.com/uvmadmissions. Whoa, one last quick question to end us. What is your favorite part about the campus?
Ben and Jerry's being on points, because when it's been a long day, nothing makes you feel better than ice cream and it being sort of free.
That's beautiful. Sort of free. Yeah, Ben and Jerry's is great. I just think our campus is beautiful. We have amazing buildings. Our university row is just building after building of just like beauty, and they're just very collegiate looking and academic, and it really makes you appreciate the beauty of UVM as well as Burlington as a whole. But campus is amazing.
I think also a lot of the LEED certified buildings on campus. So UVM has about 12 LEED certified buildings, which stands for Leadership in Environmental and Energy Design. And after 2005, UVM declared that all new buildings will be, or renovated buildings will be at the LEED Silver certification at least. And the Aiken Center, or School of Rubenstein, the School of Environment and Natural Resources, actually just got its LEED Platinum certification, which is the highest level you can get, and only about 3% of all LEED certified buildings are at that level. So it's really nice just to walk around campus and see the university really committing to sustainability and a more green lifestyle, because that's what a lot of students are interested in. So that's something I love seeing, is the university responding to what students want and really putting that into their own mission statement.
So that's actually all the time we have. Thank you everyone for coming on to this little chat and hearing us talk. Once again, we have our little blurb. If you want to hear from us, email us, tweet us, follow us. But again, thank you for coming. And once again, I'm Lila.
And I'm Reed.
I hope you all have a wonderful evening.
Yeah. Bye.